Welcome to Wagoner, Oklahoma, where we wanted this show to be all about Cookie, the world-famous five-legged cow.
Well, let me tell you, Cookie is well known, and I get reminded of it on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, I got a text from my wife a few moments ago and wanted to know if you guys had asked about her, if you've been to the house and had your own pictures taken with her. So I just have to take it.
But instead, it's going to be about Cookie's owner.
Hi, I'm Steve Nicholas. I am currently the owner of Cookie, the five-legged cow, and I'm also a pharmacist.
Independent pharmacist Steve Nicholas owns Rogers Drug, where he's been trying to build a vaccine program from the ground up.
Yeah, we were just kicking along, filling prescriptions, taking care of business, and then vaccinations became something that pharmacies did. And we didn't. And then COVID hit, and then it became every pharmacy, and so the training and all that stuff that I should have had before that I didn't have at that time, it just kind of was easier to not get involved and look back and go, man, I really should have gotten involved than it was to kind of jump in the middle when it was hot and bothered.
A bit overwhelmed by the process, Steve called us and said, "Show me how to start a vaccination program from scratch." Steve's dad took over Rogers Drug back in 1964.
Mr. Rogers, who owned this, came out and said, "Bud, where you been?" I said, "Well, I've been to school." Yep, come in here and let me talk to you. So I went in and we sat down and he said, "If you'll come in here," I had a year intern to do, "if you'll do that year intern and we get along, I will fix this so you could buy it." And I'm thinking, well, I didn't have anything in writing. Of course, my classmates were all, "You say, you dummy, that's not going to happen. Nobody's going to fix the store." But anyway, the son came. He was an avid race driver, and he came to me and he said, "I understand you and Dad had a deal." I said, "Yeah." He said, "What was it?" He said, "Well, if I would stay and we could get along, he'd fix it so I could buy it." And he said, I think that was September or October. And he said, "Well, if you'll run it till December for me, well, we'll get it done." Went into the bank in December, and the bank let me have the money, and I paid him, and that's all there was to it.
But a lot has changed since back then.
Clay, it used to be you got a prescription and you fixed it and you took it out to the customer, and is that cash or charge?
That's not the case anymore. You can send a prescription out of here that says you made X amount of dollars on it and find out 30, 60, 90 days from now, you lost more than you can even imagine. There are some days that, that when people come in to get medicine filled, you'll fill 5 or 6 prescriptions for them, and when the DIR fees and things of that nature play into it, if they would have just kept going, you would have made more money.
So we sent pharmacist Jonathan Marquess to help Steve build a vaccine program and add a new revenue stream. NCPA's Hannah Fish was on the ground to do the introductions and move the conversation along.
So hoping for today here at Rogers Drug, Steve hasn't done any vaccines yet, so we're looking to get him off and going. So we're bringing in Jonathan, our coach, to teach him kind of what he needs to know, the basics of getting an immunization program off the ground.
Hey, Hannah.
Hey, Jonathan. Welcome to Rogers Drug.
Good morning. I'm excited.
Me too. Let's go meet
Let me
Steve.
get the door.
Excellent. Thank you.
Hi.
Good morning. Hi, I'm Hannah.
I'm Steve.
Nice to meet
Hey,
you
Steve.
in person.
Jonathan Marquess from Georgia.
Good to meet you.
Excellent.
Good to meet you. Welcome.
Excellent.
Beautiful store.
During a brief tour of the store, Jonathan scouted the place out, getting a feel for what Steve already had in place and what he'd need to set up.
One of the things you'll learn in the training is after you give them an immunization, they do need to stick around the pharmacy for 10-15 minutes.
Sure.
Just to make sure there's not an anaphylactic reaction, which is very, very rare. But this serves as a great spot. Where are you going to store the vaccines?
Well, I haven't really decided. I don't know what's required, what I need. Of course, we've got a refrigerator right back there that we keep our insulin and things of that nature in. I assume they have to be stored separately? Or
No,
can
not
they be in the
necessarily.
same?
You could, insulin refrigerator would be fine.
Okay. Yeah, let me show you where we're
Sure.
just right back here in our normal workflow.
A quick examination of the existing refrigerator allowed Steve to check off some boxes. He has plenty of space to store vaccines. Temperature control meets standards. and the location of the refrigerator works well with the workflow. Jonathan and Steve then go over his existing computer software to talk through his current capabilities.
All right, man, here's where all the action goes down.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
One of the first things we can talk about is you can go to your ordering system and take a look at how easy it is to just get product in.
Okay, let me log in here real quick.
Okay. Let's just do something real quick. Let's pull up Shingrix.
All right, there we go.
So you can show me this, but here is the vaccine.
Right.
Tells you everything you need here. Here's the NDC number, the product quantity. Looks like your wholesaler has a lot of them in.
Yes.
And I imagine you get your order in every single day.
We do.
So I don't make it too simple, but literally, you click that button right there, you have shingles vaccine tomorrow, you can put it in somebody's deltoid.
Nice. All right, that sounds fun. So whenever it gets to the time where we're up and ready to go, and I need to contact my rep, like you said, or punch in an order for this, how do I know how much to get, how much of what, based on my clientele?
Tell me a little bit about the patients that come in here, their age, are they in the community, those type of things.
So our client base, mostly Medicare age people, but we do have, a full range of things like that. So I think we would probably focus on, adults and Medicare age people.
I think that's good. That's really where pharmacists are trained the best, is to give the vaccines to the adults. I know some pharmacists take additional training and do some of the kids, but the primary advice I would give you is to focus on your adults. You got a lot of your patients walking in today. They're not completely up to date with their immunizations. But this field of immunizations is one that we've got the product, we've got the knowledge, and the billing mechanisms are set up. For example, many people will walk in under 65 and will just reach back in their wallet or purse and say, hey, Steve, I'll pay you for this great service.
Sure.
We'll do that. Also, literally 99% of commercial insurance, you can run this through on their commercial insurance and obviously get very good reimbursement. For your Medicare clientele, that's almost another program. You'll want to work with your wholesaler or some of the secondary billing vendors that are out there to help you bill Medicare, because most of that clientele will bring in their red, white, and blue card and expect that shot to be no out-of-pocket, no copay, no deductible, which to me is an exciting benefit that helps our seniors come in and get the flu shots that they need, the pneumonia shot they need, and there won't be anything out of pocket.
Sure. Well, the Medicare part of it, we don't bill Part B, so I'm kind of concerned about, how we delve into that, because initially when we were considering whether or not we were going to be a Part B provider for DMEs and things of that nature, it was too many hoops and too cost prohibitive for us to entertain very seriously. And so we just decided not to. So we have never billed Part B or the red, white, and blue card for anything. So I'm concerned about that process.
And that's a good point. 10 years ago, it was a very difficult process. Two good things that have happened. This is different than your DME. This is different than billing Part B as in boy, durable medical equipment. There's an entire section of just what we call mass immunizer billing Part B. It's literally 5 pages that you can fill out. But once again, I would encourage you, since we're jumping in, these are going to be some of the first shots you give here. Maybe focus on the cash pay, focus on your commercial insurance. There are many Part D plans that cover immunizations now. Many times not flu for the 65 plus. But there are vendors out there. We work with a couple of vendors that really walked us through the billing process, the paperwork, and how to do the billing. I would encourage you to investigate those.
Okay, that'd be great. You can give me that information.
Absolutely.
Steve learned how to get product into the shop. He and Jonathan talked through who the most likely first customers would be. And they talked through billing, whether that be cash, commercial insurance, or Medicare. That one short meeting seemed to take a load off Steve's mind.
There were things that were on my mind. It was, how do I order? What do I order? How much do I order? How do I bill? How long does it take to get paid? What do you get paid? These are all things that we talked about earlier that Jonathan and I were talking about. And he answered all those within, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. And I've been, fretting about it for a couple, 3 years now.
Change is tough, no matter what it is. To change your bank, to change your wholesaler, to change your PSAO, it's tough. Nobody likes change. But I think if you do it the right way, you plan, you communicate, you bring in experts like NCPA, it makes it much, much easier to do.
Even with all those questions answered, Steve still had to decide where in the store the vaccinations would actually be given.
Steve, let's take a look at your administration area.
Okay, let's go. Kind of thinking about doing the vaccines in this general area.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think about it.
Just one thing that you'll have to think about is workflow.
Okay.
What we do at our pharmacies is we work all the immunizations in sort of as the patient comes up. You might fill a metformin, then an antibiotic. Oh, there's a flu shot. That's one way to do it. You'll have to decide what's best for you. You also could say every Thursday when you have your second pharmacist here or your father, you could say on every Thursday I'll do them all day long and you can have them lined up down the street. So workflow is important. The thing I like about this administration area, right through here, you could be back talking to a patient, talking to a physician, filling a prescription, and could come right down. I also say within workflow, get your staff.
Right.
You've got some great technicians here. Have them literally do most of the process, filling out the paperwork, getting the insurance card, giving them the vaccine information statement. Then the professional comes down.
Sure.
You come down, talk to the patient, you already know them, and then get them ready, prepare the site, give them the immunization. And right in this area is really good. We use a lot of baskets,
Okay.
so you can have your cotton balls and Band-Aids. Don't have to go search for those. We want not only the patient to be comfortable, we want you to be comfortable when you're giving the shot. So even in this area, you could maybe move this area down and have some of your supplies right in this area.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it would be great. I can clean off that counter there, move some of these products down, and bring in a partition and have the privacy and everything handy, just like I do back there in the workflow
It's a
area of the pharmacy.
very similar setup. You want to make this is your workplace area for
Right.
giving immunizations.
Well, we haven't been doing vaccinations up to this point, so might as well start off doing it right.
In just a short time, Steve Nicholas went from nervous about starting a vaccine program in his store to brainstorming how he could take that program to the whole community. This was music to Hannah's ears.
These guys are doing great. Love hearing the interactions between our coaches and our pharmacists. They're, really drilling down into all the specifics of getting started, and, it just makes me wonder why they haven't gotten going before. They've got the county courthouse right across the street. It's amazing that they're not immunizing those patients every single year.
So whenever you go off-site to nursing homes or schools or courthouses and things of that nature to do an off-site clinic where you can give these vaccinations and stuff, how do you go about paperwork and billing and things of that nature? Do you already know before you give somebody a shot that it's going to be covered?
Yeah.
Because you just have a card and you don't even know if that card is up to date.
Yeah. Very good question, Steve, and that's why one of the reasons Hannah and NCPA had me here today is that I've made all the mistakes.
Okay.
When we do those off-site clinics, you'll probably want to investigate what insurance does one person have. Usually you'll know the boss or an employee at that plant. We do a bank chain. We do a chicken processing plant. We go to schools. We go to churches. Usually we'll know 1 or 20 people there and we'll say, hey, take a picture of your card. And you obviously get the bin and the PCN and the group and the ID number. Many times you already have the patient in here. So you can run a test claim to make sure that they are paying. And I really haven't found any commercial insurance that won't pay for a vaccine. But for all those 50 and above and those that have Medicare Part D, they are going to have a copay. So that can be a challenge if you go off-site to know what copay they have.
If you run into a situation where somebody was wrong and you've already performed the service, you contact them later and say, hey, we did this, we billed. Do you have a different insurance, or instead of this copay being $0, it was $25?
I usually only do that with flu. When they start asking for the other immunizations, shingles, Tdap, pneumonia, we will actually call back to the pharmacy and read the card off, date of birth, patient ID, and have them run it through right there. And that's where you want to go yourself. You're going to be the professional there. We're going to be doing marketing. But it's also good to bring some of your staff or one member of your staff with you to make some of the phone calls, do the paperwork, keep things organized.
Okay, that's great news.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, good idea.
And Steve isn't the only one at Rogers excited.
I think it's going to be a good fit here in Wagoner for us to be able to help our patients. You know, up until this point, we've had to send them off to one of our competitors to get their immunizations, and a lot of our patients here have been coming here. You know, Steve and Ron have been in this community forever, so I think, you know, they know them on a personal level in some cases, and I think it'll be good for us to take care of them more wholly than just their prescriptions.
Rogers Drug is no stranger to serving its communities. It's been in the Nicholas family for more than 50 years, and this new vaccine program is more than just a new revenue stream. It's another way for Rogers to continue its long history of helping others.
I can't think of a thing that I could tell him that would do any better than he's doing. He learned well somewhere. Somewhere down the road, he learned well. Got to take care of the people. If you take care of the people, they'll take care of you. The town's been good to me. The town has been good to me. I've tried to be good to it.
Rubber's about to hit the road here.
All right.
How long do you think would it take for us to start immunizing patients right here in the pharmacy?
From what I understand from you, I've got to contact, you know, those three agencies or different people that we're talking about. Having had all those done, I have a trained pharmacist on staff. Some of the things we can get within a day from our wholesaler. So we're within, what is today? Thursday? We're Tuesday.
Yeah.
We could actually start Tuesday.
I'm excited about that.
I know.
Can I call you on Tuesday?
Call me on Tuesday.
We'll
I'll let
do
you
it.
know how we're doing. See if I'm up to 50.
Okay, good.
Expectations were high leading up to that call, but as it often does, life happened and our call was pushed back a couple of weeks.
Did you have a list of questions, 1, 2, or 100 questions for me, and just update me how it's going?
Well, I'll update you. It's kind of anticlimactic. Just as soon as everybody left, I got COVID for what seemed to be about 10 or 15 days. And I was kind of out of commission. And
Sorry.
then I know. And then then the following weekend, my son got married. And now here we are in the middle of October, and I have made very little progress.
Number one, sorry about COVID, but it looks like it bounced back really well. And I know the young lady that works for you there has maybe given a couple. I really want to get some excitement and hear about it on your perspective. But any shots given by the young lady that works for you?
No, I haven't ordered any yet. You know, I don't feel that my knowledge base when it comes to the vaccinations is where that needs to be. You know, I don't really know how. I'm still a little bit hesitant. I'm a little, someone asked me a question about, is this the high dose? Is this the low dose? Which variant is this? Which that is this? I don't feel that I have a strong enough knowledge base personally to be able to answer any question or pretty much those types of questions when they come in. And as a business owner and as somebody who has a little bit of pride, I don't want to put that on my floater and make it her responsibility to answer those questions for me, because honestly, I am just ignorant in a lot of these questions.
A bout of COVID and a son getting married derailed Steve's big plans, but none of that stopped Steve from making progress.
We had a list of 4 or 5 people that I needed to call. I've gotten all that done. And the training for that I have to take care of before I can start giving the immunizations and things is coming up in, I think, a week or 10 days. It's first part of November in Weatherford, and that's just kind of where I'm at. And I haven't progressed a lot.
Just a few weeks after our call, Steve was fully trained and had ordered inventory. And just 3 days after that, Steve Nicholas and folks at Rogers Drug started giving their first injections. Another great independent pharmacy launching a vaccination immunization program.
So we want to thank everyone here at Rogers Drug for welcoming us into their store. We want to thank Steve and his dad Ron. We want to thank the great pharmacists and technicians on staff. We want to thank Jonathan Marquess, our coach, and just love being here in the community of Wagoner, Oklahoma.
We'll see you next time on Show Me, the vaccine episodes.